If you hear the guard dog, it's barking at me because in Trump's America, we women aren't allowed to make movie reviews anymore, of any kind. I'm O'Reilly and I saw The Handmaid's Tale Season 1, Episode 1 of Offred. It is directed by Reed Moreno, written by Bruce Miller. If you haven't seen this episode, I will spoil it for you. This episode starts, we're following a lady, a man, and a daughter of theirs, and they're being hunted down by a bunch of guards, a bunch of guns about to get them. There are crucial mistakes that this woman makes at the very beginning of the episode. She's hiding her daughter, and it seems like they found a really good hiding spot. Instead of waiting for the guards to be clear of the area, she instead decides to just run off when there's no sign that the guard's going to go down to where they're at. Why didn't she wait? She should have waited like 10 minutes. But of course, because of her impatience, the guards spot her because they can hear her because they're right next to her, and they go get her, and then they kidnap the kid. And because of this, she is now deemed a sex slave. We're now in a society where women are infertile, so now we're in this hyper-conservative world. We live in a world where the state and religion have mixed, and now women are supposed to be properties of the state and assigned to men who are the highest bidder. There's a few examples of this world being brutal. There's this class that all the sex slaves have to go through, and there's this one who's like, screw you. And of course, her eye gets taken out as a punishment. And that one actually turns out to get pregnant more faster than the other ones. And she's in a state of, just having a good time, enjoying my life. It seems like she's the only one having a fun time, including the people who own the sex slaves, by the way. There's a scene where Offred is being sexed upon, and it looks like the wife of the commander, because they're called commanders, the people who own the sex slaves, they're called commanders. The wives of those commanders aren't having any fun. The commanders themselves seem like they're not having any fun. It just looks like it's an obligation. And then the sex slave is not having any fun. So I'm like, how would this work? Who does this benefit? Humans chase pleasure. There's no pleasure in this. This is not going to last long whatsoever. And it seems like it's been only a few years since this reform, so I'm like, okay, you're really going to expect people going to just become sex slaves just like that? And people are going to allow the government to get that bad to the point where they have sex slavery? I don't believe it. There's a man who allegedly raped a pregnant lady handmaid. So all the handmaids go in a circle, they got the man in the center, and they're like, on my mark, you can go kick him to death. And so all the handmaids do, they just go brutally beat him. I'm like, okay. This seems to be a woman-positive society, but we're enslaving them? Wait, what? Why? This doesn't make any sense logically. Who made this story? A woman? Oh yeah, Margaret Atwood. Haha, that's a woman's name. Only a woman would make a society this confusing and not make any sense. I'm watching this first episode, I'm like, man, this is clearly a sex fantasy. A woman wants this done to her because all women don't want to make decisions. Come on, man. Like, if you really had to choose, you would choose to have somebody else make all your decisions. It's just easier. But you don't have somebody else make your decisions because they're going to do it poorly. But if you were relying on somebody who's going to make the decisions for you goodly and had your best interest in mind, you would give up your decisions to them. And this seems to be that type of world. These women aren't allowed to read, they're not allowed to socialize. Well, they are allowed to talk to each other in weird coded language like, praise be thy Lord. I don't remember the other ones, they were just kind of stupid. And everyone's supposed to be talking this weird coded fancy language now, and I'm like, yeah. I wouldn't live in this world because if I had to be forcefully taken, I would simply get shot because I'd be talking my mind. I'd be like, hey, I don't want to speak in this weird coded language. Offred vows to herself, I'm gonna find my daughter. I'm gonna survive to find her. Offred is going to stick it out to find her daughter any way that she can. So I'm like, okay, so obviously somewhere in the later seasons there's going to be some sort of revolution, because obviously this is a stupid societal plan that wasn't going to last long. Only a sadist would implement this, and most people aren't sadists, so most people wouldn't want to deal with this. And the fact that they are means that, oh geez, whoever is implementing this is going to die eventually, and then when they die, then society is going to go into total collapse. The colors of this episode, very grim, desaturated all the heck. Very boring clothing options and colors that they chose. I think red is supposed to represent romance and sex and passion. That's usually what the color is used for in media, but the sex slaves, they're literally just wearing red, because that's all they're good for, is for sex, I guess. And fertility is a gift. Oh no, the police are coming for me because I'm reviewing a movie. Oh no, I better come fast. I gotta go fast because I don't want to get arrested in Trump's America. There's so many holes and gaps in society that I can't imagine it would ever happen. And it's just so grim and dark, and it's supported in lighting. We got the daylight scenes that are dark. How can you get daylight scenes dark? It's just so dark and gloomy. It's just represented, and all the colors are desaturated and all the filming's desaturated. I'm gonna let you know first though, in Trump's America, we're getting close to Handmaid's Tale. So, on a scale of not at all Handmaid's Tale to extreme Handmaid's Tale, on a scale of 1 to 10, where are we at right now for episode 1? I'd place this at a 1. This isn't happening right now. Not in America anyway. In other countries they are, but not in Trump's America. But if anything changes, you'll be the first to know. Me, of Riley, will let you know. So I gotta give this episode. It establishes a world that is flawed. It is very flawed with how they thought of it too. The author who created this world, not the actual society. The society doesn't make sense, so it's the author's fault. Of course, all problems caused by women. Makes sense. I gotta give this episode, it's a solid 6.7 out of 10. If you like this review, watch another on the platform, or like said $20 deals. Patreon.com/ASEPresents. One movie review per 1 month. Go to Gilead to support the daily grindiness of all them daily movie reviews. And until next time on Mint Salad Saw, I'll see you later, my sour croutons, bacon bits. I'm gonna go make a baby. Goodbye.